Okay, law of sines. Another way that you're going to be, or that you can use sine, or a trigonometry ratio, to find angles or side lengths of a triangle. So let's see, the law of sines on page 588. If triangle ABC has lengths A, B, and C, then the sine of angle A over side A is going to be equal to the sine of angle B over side B, and that's going to be equal to the sine of angle C over side C. And let's take a look at what all that means. We got a triangle here. Triangle ABC. And we've got a side right here labeled X, a 97-degree angle, a 21-degree angle, and side BC is 16. The law of sine says that the sine of an angle, the sine of 97 over its opposite side, which is 16, is going to be equal to the sine of any other angle in the triangle over its opposite side. So it means that the sine of 21, or sine 97 over 16, is going to be equal to sine of 21 over its opposite side, and its opposite side is the X that is missing. Okay? So you're creating proportions to find missing side lengths in this case. So once you write your proportion, sine of an angle over its opposite side is equal to sine of an angle over its opposite side, you can crisscross multiply and you can solve for the missing side. So if you crisscross multiply, and if you crisscross multiply the variable first, it keeps the variable on the left-hand side of the equation. So if you take sine 97 times X, okay, and make it equal to sine 21 times 16. Now, you don't have to do any math yet. Your next step is to get X by itself, so you can divide both sides by sine 97. And divide here by sine 97. Okay, now in your calculator, get your calculator out. These sine 97s on the left will cancel, and you're just left with the X. On the right-hand side, make sure you finish the numerator first. Meaning, make sure you push equals. Depending on what kind of calculator you have, it's either going to be sine 21 times 16, or it's going to be 21 sine times 16. But make sure you hit equals after you do that. So I got sine 21 times 16. And in my calculator, I've got, for this top, I got 5.734. And I got to divide that by sine 97. But you can just leave this 5.734 sitting in your calculator and then push divided by sine 97 and hit equals. And it looks like we're rounding to the nearest tenth, so we've got 5 7.8 as this side.
Wait, how'd you get 5.8?
I took, did you multiply sine 21 times 16?
Yeah, and I got the 5. Yeah.
Okay, is that sitting in your calculator?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then push divided by. Which calculator you got?
Like this one.
Alright, so after you push divided by, push 97 sine, and then hit equals.
Oh, okay. Because I got, the first time I got like the 0.9.
You probably forgot to hit equals, and it gave you the sine of 97. And that's what it does on those calculators. It gives you the sine of 97 until you hit equals, and then it divides it. Everybody clear on that operation? Alright, it's the sine of an angle over its opposite side. Sine of an angle over its opposite side is equal to sine of an angle over its opposite side. So let's try another one. Right, in this picture you got a 60-degree angle and a 78-degree angle. That's a 0 down there. 60-degree angle and a 78, you got an 8, and you've got an X. Law of sines. Okay, so sine 60 over x, sine of an angle over its opposite side, is equal to, in this case it's going to be sine 78 over 8. So sine of an angle, sine 78 over 8. That's your proportion, and then you can crisscross multiply. So again, do your variable first. So it's going to be sine 78 times x equals sine 60 times 8. And then you're going to divide both sides by sine 78. This cancels, and x equals, let's see, probably the most difficult thing is going to be getting it into the calculator correctly. So sine 60 times 8 equals, and then divided by sine 78. And 7.083, which is 7.1. Anybody else get that? And let's try one more. Okay, this problem presents what could be a potential error for some of you. The law of sine says that the sine of an angle over its opposite side, sine of 54 goes over the 8. Sine 54 over 8 is equal to, sine 54 over 8 is equal to the sine of this angle up here over the x. But that angle up there is missing. So you can't just use the 37. Okay? You got to find the angle that's up top. So if you take 180 and subtract 54 and 37, 180 minus 54 minus 37 equals, this top angle is 89 degrees. So make sure you find that angle measure first and put it over the x. So that's going to be sine 89 over x. Okay? Can't use the 37. All right? So, crisscross multiply. Sine 54. Ooh, that's ugly. Sine 54. Sine 54 times x is equal to sine 89 times 8. Thank you, sir. So, divide both sides by sine 54. Your sine 54s cancel. Your x falls down. And the rest of it is a calculator problem. Sine 89 times 8 divided by sine 54 equals 9.9.
Do I have to put sine first and then the number?
In your calculator, you're going to put the number and then sine.
Okay, because I got 13.2.
When you finish the whole problem,
Yeah.
yeah, and that if you're using that TI 30XA calculator, you have to put the number and then the sine. The number and then sine.
Got it.
Same for cosine and tangent. Yes.
I didn't get 9.9.
What'd you get?
I got,
We'll type it in again because your sequence is probably wrong.
I got 9.875.
Well, I got 9.887, but we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So 9.9, right? Okay. Let's try another one of those where you've got to use the triangle angle sum theorem. .45 degrees up top. Side opposite the 45 is x. This bottom right angle is 73 degrees. And this side on the right side of the triangle is 10. So sine of an angle over its opposite side, sine of 45 over x, is going to be equal to the sine of an angle over its opposite side, and in this case, the side that is opposite the 10. I'm sorry, the angle that's opposite the 10. That's missing. So if you take 180 and subtract 45 and then subtract 73, 62 degrees is the missing angle. So it's sine of 62 over 10. Crisscross multiply. Sine 62 times x is equal to sine 45 times 10. If you divide both sides by sine 62, your sine 62s will cancel. And sine 45 times 10 equals, and then divided by sine 62 equals 8.008, so we're going with 8. Are you guys okay with that? Sine of an angle over its opposite side equals sine of an angle over its opposite side. Any questions? Okay, here's some practice problems for you to do today on a clean sheet of paper, please. Page 592. problems 1 through 4. And then over on the top of the next page, you can do problems 12 through 17. Make sure you show all your work. That means you have to write a proportion for each problem. You don't have to draw the triangles, but you do have to write a proportion for each problem. Okay? On a clean sheet of paper with your name on it. Page 592, 1 through 4, and 12 through 17. And then be sure to show all of your work.